Welcome guys to the first lesson of this course. This lesson of this course will focus on the pre-planning, things that you need to do before you even start the blog. It will examine the individual needs that you have, why you're starting the blog, how much time can you invest, and the strategy going forward. So just to give you a brief introduction, this is the blog that we will be creating. I've created this blog as a demo, but already it has a functioning domain name, mpumalangatourist.co.za. So this is the blog that I'll be using as an example. I will show you how to build a blog that looks similar to this from scratch. Obviously, you can use your own colors, use a different theme than the one that I'm using. You can have your own domain as you please, whatever is more applicable to you. But I'll just give you the general background on how you can create a blog that looks something like this. These are some of the pages we'll be creating, and I will also show you where you can get images. I'll also show you how to create a logo, and I'll also show you how to create a contact form, and I will also show you how to create this blog layout, and I'll also show you how to make it mobile friendly. But for now, let's do the pre-planning. So the pre-planning, as I mentioned, it is an individual thing, but it is very important for you to understand why you're doing this. For example, let's have a look at the first question. Why do you want to start a blog? The reason why we need to ask this question is because after 3 months or 6 months, if you don't see success, you might be tempted to give up. So answering this question is very important. For example, for the Mpumalanga Tourist blog, this is my reason. You will see throughout this whole document, I've highlighted my reasons and my answers in blue. So maybe you want to start a blog because you want to make money online. Maybe you want to start a blog because you want to share your thoughts. Maybe you want to start a blog because you want to help your business grow by increasing customer engagement. Whatever your reasons are, you need to write them down. I know to some people this might sound a little bit too much, I don't need this, but pre-planning is very important. I spent years trying to create a blog, running around with no real direction. But once I sat down and formulated a strategy, it began to work. So for example, why do I want to start a blog? I want to create a blog where I can share with the rest of South Africans how beautiful and fun my province is. I grew up in Mpumalanga and I visited most of the tourist destinations. Recently, I noticed that most of the internet information found online relating to Mpumalanga is inaccurate or doesn't tell the whole picture. I think people deserve to hear directly from someone who grew up there. So the reason why I wanted to start Mpumalanga Tourist blog is to share the world. You know, I grew up in Mpumalanga. I'm from Mpumalanga. It's one of the provinces in South Africa. So whenever I search about Mpumalanga tourism online, I always felt like I could do more. Why don't I create a blog that specifically talks about Mpumalanga and the nice places you can visit in Mpumalanga? So that is my motivation for creating this blog. Then the second thing we're going to discuss is define your goals and objectives. So don't just create a blog, set milestones for yourself, define your goals. What do you want to achieve with this blog? What is the end goal of this blog? So if you want to make money, how much money do you want to make? And by when do you want to make money? If you want to help your business, how will the blog help your business? Do you want to get more customers? Do you want to sell more products? What are you trying to achieve? For example, for my blog, I want to be recognized as the best information source for Mpumalanga tourism through recommendations and reviews. So your goal must be specific and your goal must sort of be tangible. Don't just say, I want a successful blog. How will you know when your blog is successful? For example, this line that I wrote here, I said to be recognized as one of the best sources, not the best, but one of the best sources of information relating to Mpumalanga tourism through recommendation and reviews. So I know that my blog is successful when I get reviews by other people saying that my blog is the best source of information. The other goal that I set out for myself is to get 25,000 unique views a day. So when my blog is successful, I'll know my blog is successful when I get 25,000 visitors each and every day. And this is a goal that I'm setting out for myself. Maybe I should say in the next 3 years. In the next 3 years. Okay. Then the other goal that I set out for myself is to convert visitors to share their experience and encourage visitors to share articles on the website. So you will see on the website, I have a page where I encourage people to share their experience. So that is my conversion. So when someone clicks here, they can click here and then they can share their articles. For example, here, this is an article that was posted by one of my visitors. So that is the ultimate goal for my blog, is to get people to share their experiences. So when a person has been to Mpumalanga, they should come back and share their experience on the blog. The next question you need to answer is, how are you going to achieve those goals? Okay, so this is where we formulate the strategy. Strategy is about what are you going to do to get there. And remember, you can always change your strategy if it is not working. So I'm going to present you with some strategies. These strategies are not the only strategies. So you need to adapt them based on your circumstances and the blog that you're trying to create. And the most important thing, if the strategy is not working, do not be afraid to change it. So, and once again, I've mentioned that setting goals will define what success looks like to you. So my strategy to meet my goals, I said I'm gonna read up more about Mpumalanga, the province, So I'm gonna find out how is Mpumalanga province, the culture, the heritage, the population, how many people are in Mpumalanga, and just try to get at the general feel. What is the language, who are the people that are likely to come to Mpumalanga? So that is the background research that I need to do in order to reach my goals. Then the second thing, read up more about tourism in general. Since my blog is about tourism, I'm going to read up more about tourism. I'm going to find out all the things I need to do about tourism, how many people come to South Africa a year, what is their age and gender. So you can read statistics that are generally available on the internet. For example, if you're in South Africa, you can consult the Statistics SA website to find out more about statistics, and you can also visit the website Brand South Africa. For example, Brand South Africa, there's a lot of information that is available regarding tourism in South Africa. Then the third thing that I said I'm going to do as part of my strategy is that I'm going to read up more about blogging, So I need to find out what are the things that I need to do in order to meet my goals. And the third thing that I said in my strategy is that I'm going to read up more on blogging. I'm going to take up an online course like you're doing right now. Take an online course, just familiarize yourself with how can you create this blog. Then the last thing we're going to look at in pre-planning is commitment. Once again, this is an individual thing. Some of you guys reading this or watching this online course, maybe you are working and you want to do this blog part-time. Some of you are not working and you can devote as much time as possible in this blog. Some of you are running a business and you can delegate the task. So this is an individual thing. So when it comes to commitment, these are the questions you need to ask yourself. How much time am I willing to spend on this? And this is so important, Don't just generalize and say, I'm going to create a blog, I'm going to work on it when I can. You need to be specific. Look at the time schedule that you have. If you're working from 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 or 7 to 4, you need to ask yourself, when am I going to blog? Are you going to blog just before you go to work or after work, do you have to gym afterwards? If you have children, do you have to deal with that? So these are honest questions that you need to ask yourself. How much time can you really afford to spend on this blog? And you need to plan it. If you've said that you're going to spend 4 hours or 3 hours, that should be your goal, and that you should hold yourself accountable to that and discipline yourself. If you've said you're going to spend 3 hours a week, spend those 3 hours. And also money. How much time, how much money are you going to spend on building this blog? For example, I said I'm going to invest at least 5 hours a week on this blog. And this is based on the fact that I'm working and I don't have anything to do after work. So I can afford to spend at least 5 hours. It could be more, but 5 hours is the minimum that I'm going to spend on this blog. The next thing I said is that I'm going to take at least 2 online courses, and my budget for this is 2,000 Rand or $200. So this is the amount that I'm willing to spend to get the skills that will help me to build this blog. The third thing I said is that I'm willing to spend at least 1,000 Rand every single month for the next 3 months, 1,000 or $100 for the next 3 months, marketing this blog, because at some point you're going to need to market this blog in one way or another. So the spend could be on hosting fees. If you're going to get hosting, you need to pay for your hosting every single month. So you need to put out that budget ahead, and we'll talk about hosting in other lessons. So this wraps up the first lesson, pre-planning. And I hope you really fill out a document that looks something like this. So write out, why do you want to do this? Define your goals and objectives. How will you do it? That is the strategy. You don't have to go into detail. Just list the basic things you're going to do. And then the most important thing, your commitment. How much time and money are you willing to spend on this blog? Thank you. We'll see you on the next lesson.